Her life was destroyed by her father-in-law, all because she fell in love with his son. You won't believe what happened to Amara when she fell in love with Joon. We got do pramam. But before we begin this story, I would love you to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to your doorstep. The night rain on the streets of Seoul made the entire city glow like melted silver. That was the night Amara's plane touched down, the night her life bent in a direction she could never have predicted. She came to Korea with one goal: finish her postgraduate program, get a job, and send money home. Love? That was the last thing on her mind. But life has a way of bending even the strongest plans. Amara's first encounter with him was not romantic. It wasn't cute either. She collided into him at the lobby of the Diamond Seoul Grand Hotel, her umbrella flipping inside out, her hair dripping from the rain. The man barely moved. Tall, sharp-jawed, charcoal suit tailored to perfection, eyes cold enough to freeze thunder. "Watch where you're going," he said. His Korean accent was crisp. His irritation was louder. "I'm sorry, the rain." But he had already walked away. She didn't know that the same man would change her life within days. Elaine, her Korean roommate, burst into the tiny apartment 3 days later, panting and dramatic. "Amara, I found the craziest job ever. They need someone exactly like you." Amara blinked. "Is it illegal?" "Not really." Elaine scratched her head. "More like strange. It pays extremely well, like crazy well. 6 figures, Amara." She sat up straight. "Doing what?" "Being a bride." Amara froze. "What?" "A fake bride. Contract marriage. 3 months. A ridiculous idea. Impossible. Insane." She laughed it off until she learned who the groom was. Kang Joon. Yes, the same man from the hotel lobby. The billionaire heir of Kang Group. A man constantly hounded by media and family pressure. A man who needed a wife immediately to secure his position in the company. Elaine dragged her to the meeting anyway. When Kang Joon saw Amara walk into the room, his face blanked for a moment. Recognition flickered in his eyes. "You," he said. "You?" she echoed. His assistant whispered, "Sir, is she not acceptable?" Joon's jaw clenched. "She'll do." Amara blinked, shocked. "But we don't even know each other." "You're not the typical type my family expects," he said, "which is exactly why you're perfect. They will never suspect love. They will think it's temporary, meaningless. That helps both of us. And if I say no, then someone else gets the contract. And the money. The money could change her entire family's life." That alone made her exhale shakily. "What exactly do you need from me?" she asked. "Attend public events. Stay in my penthouse. Obey the rules." He paused. "And no falling in love." Amara almost laughed. Who would fall in love with a man made of ice? "Fine," she said. And she signed the contract. Living with Kang Joon was like living inside a glass museum. Every surface was cold, perfect, expensive. Every rule was written with military precision. No entering his private study. No questions about his personal life. No interrupting him at night. And absolutely no romance. But rules melt easily around fire. And Amara unknowingly was fire. The first crack in the ice happened on a Thursday night. Amara was cooking jollof rice in the penthouse kitchen because she was homesick. The aroma filled the entire place, bold and spicy. Kang Joon stepped out of his study, sniffed the air like he was under attack. "What is that?" he asked. "Food," she said. "That is not food. That is loud." She laughed. "Food cannot be loud." He walked closer. "It's red. It's jollof. Taste it." "I don't eat unfamiliar things." "Then starve," she shrugged. To her shock, he took the spoon, tasted it, and froze. Amara panicked. "Is it too spicy? Do you need water?" He swallowed slowly. "It's good." It was the first time she saw him smile. A tiny one, but a smile. The next crack came at the charity gala. Their role was to act in love, pretend, hold hands for the cameras. But when his hand slid around her waist, when her body leaned into his, The world suddenly felt too quiet. "Relax," he whispered. "You're trembling. You're the one holding me like I'm fragile." "Maybe you are," he said. Flashbulbs snapped, and for a moment, Amara forgot it was an act. The problem with contract marriages is this: they are written on paper, but human hearts are not. Kang Joon started breaking his own rules. He began eating dinner in the kitchen instead of working in his study. He started coming home earlier. He asked questions about her life, about Nigeria, about her favorite songs. He even downloaded Afrobeats, and Amara started noticing him too. The way he softened when he was tired, the gentleness hidden under his sharp words, the loneliness in his eyes when he thought she wasn't looking. She began to hate the contract. 3 months started feeling too short. Everything collapsed on the 79th day. A tabloid exposed their marriage as fake. Joon's grandmother fainted. The board demanded an explanation. His father threatened to remove him from the company. "You used a foreign girl for a stunt," his father shouted. "People already question your bloodline. Now this?" Amara stood quietly, heartbreaking. She expected Joon to deny her, to say it was all business. But he stepped forward instead. "If this marriage is a stunt," he said, "then it is my greatest mistake because I never planned for it to become real." Everyone froze. Amara blinked, stunned. Joon turned to her. His voice softened. "You said no one would fall in love, but you were wrong. I broke the rule first." A tear rolled down her cheek. "And if you leave now," he continued, "I lose everything. But losing you would be worse." The room fell silent. His father whispered, "So, you love her?" "Yes," Kang Joon said, without hesitation. "I love her." The contract didn't matter anymore. This, whatever this was, had crossed the line between agreement and destiny. Later that night, the city lights glowed outside the penthouse. Amara stood on the balcony, the cold wind brushing her skin. Kang Joon walked up behind her slowly. "No more rules," he murmured. "No more contract?" she whispered. He shook his head. "No, only choices. And your choice is me?" "My choice," he said, pulling her gently into his arms, "is the woman who crashed into me in the rain and ruined my peace ever since." She smiled through tears. "Then choose me properly," she whispered. "No contract, no pretense, just us." And for the first time since she met him, he kissed her not as an obligation, not for the cameras, not because the contract said so, but because he wanted to. Because he loved her. Because somewhere between jollof rice and cold Korean nights, two worlds collided and created something neither culture had words deep enough to describe. Love changes people, but power destroys them. 3 weeks after Kang Joon confessed his love, Amara believed the worst was behind them. The media calmed down. His family, although stiff, accepted her presence. The penthouse finally felt like home. But peace is always the most fragile thing. It started with a whisper, a name she had heard only in passing. Hana Seo, beautiful, elegant, the daughter of a politician, the woman everyone expected Joon to marry before Amara entered his life. Amara knew about her, but she did not know what Hana wanted, or how dangerous she truly was. The first sign was the envelope. It arrived on a quiet morning, slipped under the penthouse door. No return address. Just a single photo inside, a picture of Amara in her old apartment, before she ever met Joon, and written on the back, "You don't belong here." Amara hid the photo. She didn't want to stress Joon, not when he had been fighting his family for her. But that was her first mistake, because villains grow stronger in silence. The second sign came at Kang Group headquarters. Amara accompanied Joon to a board meeting for the first time. She wore a simple cream dress, elegant, soft. But when they walked in together, the board members didn't look pleased, because Hana Seo was already inside the room. Her dress looked like wealth woven into silk. Her expression was calm, but her eyes held ice. "Oppa," Hana said sweetly, walking toward Joon. "You didn't tell me you were bringing your guessed. June stiffened. Hana, this is my wife. Oh, Hana smiled thinly. Right. The contract bride. Amara's stomach twisted. After the meeting, Amara waited outside, while June spoke with the chairman. Hana approached quietly, heels clicking like slow gunshots. You think love will protect you here? She said softly. This is Korea. Power matters more. Amara swallowed. I'm not trying to take your place. Hana laughed. My place? I don't need his love. I need his legacy. And you are in my way. Amara stepped back, heart racing. Hana leaned closer. Let me give you advice. Leave while you still can. Before this city eats you alive. Then she walked away. Amara didn't know her words weren't a threat. They were a promise. That night, everything shattered. June arrived home late, shoulders tense, face hard. Amara rushed to him. What happened? He hesitated, then handed her a file. Inside were printed screenshots. Fake conversations, fake messages, fake photos, all edited to show Amara cheating with a Korean classmate. What is this? Amara whispered. Someone submitted these to the board, he said quietly. They want to force me to annul our marriage. Her eyes filled with tears. You don't believe this, right? He didn't answer immediately, and that silence cracked her heart open. June, she said shakily, look at me. He finally met her eyes. I want to believe you, he whispered. But the board, my father, they won't accept this unless you doubt me too? Her voice trembled. He froze. She stepped back, tears spilling. I stood by you when everyone doubted us, she said. But the moment someone accuses me, you hesitate? Amara. No, she whispered. This hurts. He tried to touch her. She pulled away. It was the first time she refused his touch, and it broke both of them. The next morning, she wasn't in the penthouse. She left a note. Not a goodbye, just a single sentence. I need to breathe. June tore the room apart, searching for her. But she was gone. Hana moved quickly. Within days, news channels reported Kang Joon marriage scandal. Wife goes missing after evidence of affair leaks. Paparazzi hunted Amara. Comment sections exploded with hate. Politicians whispered about impeaching June's father. Chaos. Exactly what Hana wanted. She visited June with a soft smile. I can help you, she said. My father can clean this up. The scandal will disappear. But you need to annul the marriage, publicly. June stared at her coldly. You did this. Hana shrugged. Love makes people blind. I'm helping you see. He clenched his fists. If you touch Amara. Or what? Hana snapped. You think this country will let a foreign girl ruin a $1 billion empire? I'm saving you from a mistake. June's voice dropped to ice. No. You're destroying the only good thing that ever happened to me. For the first time, Hana's smile cracked. Oppa, don't make me your enemy. You already are, he said, and he walked out. Meanwhile, Amara hid in a small African restaurant in Itaewon. The owner, a kind Nigerian woman, let her stay in a spare room. Amara felt like she had returned to being nobody. The glamorous penthouse life felt like a dream she had woken up from too soon. But even in hiding, Hana found a way to hurt her. Someone dropped another envelope at the restaurant door. Inside was a single message. Leave Korea or disappear from it. Amara froze. This was no longer jealousy, no longer rivalry. This was a threat. And at the same time, June discovered something terrifying. Security footage from the Kang Group parking lot, showing Hana's bodyguard meeting the student she used to create the fake cheating evidence. Everything was a setup, and Amara was in real danger. June grabbed his coat and ran out of the office, heart racing for the woman he loved. The woman he had failed to protect. But he wasn't the only one moving. Hana had already sent her men to Itaewon, and Amara, walking home from the grocery store, felt footsteps behind her. The street was quiet, too quiet. When she turned around, a black car rolled slowly toward her, its windows tinted, engine humming like a predator. Amara's breath caught. She wasn't imagining it. Danger was coming.
I never knew love could make me this afraid. Before Amara entered my life, everything was predictable. My days were built on structure meetings, stacked on meetings, board members breathing down my neck, my father reminding me of my responsibilities to the Kang name. Even my dating life was scripted. Perfect Korean heiresses, flawless manners, expensive smiles, women chosen by my father to complement my career more than my heart. Life made sense. Cold, colorless sense. Then one evening, under the Seoul rain, a girl from thousands of miles away slammed straight into me with her backpack and wide, startled eyes. And suddenly, my world stopped following the rules. Her laughter cracked something open in me. Her honesty burned through every wall I'd built. Her presence made the penthouse feel like a home instead of a palace built for loneliness. But happiness is fragile, almost too fragile. Because when Amara disappeared, the silence in the penthouse didn't feel like emptiness. It felt like punishment. A punishment I deserved. I replayed the moment she asked me, "Do you believe me?" And I hesitated. Just 1 second, one breath. But sometimes, a single heartbeat is enough to break a person. And I broke her. The scandal erupted faster than any fire I'd seen in the corporate world. Fake screenshots, edited videos, anonymous tips sent to journalists. Every headline sharpened like a knife. Kang Group heirs African wife caught cheating. Foreign bride scandal shakes Kang family. Amara Lee, the outsider who betrayed Korea's most eligible bachelor. I couldn't breathe reading them. But what killed me the most was knowing she must have read them too. Alone. Terrified. Thinking I had abandoned her. And I knew exactly who had set the fire. Hana Seo. To the public, she is elegance incarnate, polished, perfect, the daughter of a political powerhouse. But beneath the surface, she is ice and ambition and centuries-old cruelty shaped into human form. To people like her, love isn't real. Love is leverage. Marriage is strategy. And Amara, a woman from a different continent, with no power and no alliances, was a threat to her plans. The day she visited my office, the scent of her perfume filled the air like poison. "You should annul the marriage," she said, like she was advising me on stock decisions. "It's better for your legacy." My jaw tightened. "You destroyed Amara's name. You engineered all of this." She smiled gently, as if the accusation amused her. "Your little foreign wife was a phase, Joon. A distraction. Surely you didn't think it would last?" I felt something inside me twist. Anger, hatred, fear, all three. "Hana," I said quietly. "If anything happens to Amara," she touched her hair, bored. "You think you can protect her? This isn't her country. She has no power here." The confidence in her voice chilled me to the bone. It wasn't arrogance. It was certainty. She knew she had the power to destroy Amara, and she had already started. When Hana walked out, the office felt colder. The world felt smaller. My chest felt tighter. I tried calling Amara. 5 times. 10, 20, 30. Nothing. Her final message sat on the kitchen counter when I got home. "I need to breathe." End quote. Those 4 words stabbed deeper than anything Hana said, because I was the reason she couldn't breathe. Hours passed. Nights blurred into mornings. Sleep avoided me like I was cursed. I searched everywhere. Streets she liked, malls we visited together, the cafe where she told me stories about Lagos sunsets. I called her classmates, her professors, even taxi companies. Nobody had seen her. The penthouse felt haunted, her jacket draped over the couch, her slippers beside the bed, her scent still lingering on the pillows. Everything reminded me of her, and everything reminded me that she was gone because of me. Then, the file appeared. A black folder on my assistant's desk, marked confidential. At first, I thought it was another business report, but inside, security camera footage. The Kang Group parking lot, Hannah's bodyguard, meeting the student who accused Amara, a thick envelope exchanged. I stared at the laptop screen until my hands began to shake. It was all Hana. Every rumor, every message, everything meant to break Amara. And worse, if she was willing to destroy her reputation, what else was she willing to do? My fear turned into panic, panic into rage, rage into determination. I grabbed my keys and ran. My phone buzzed as I reached the car. A private investigator I'd hired answered in a rush. "Sir, we found Amara's location, but one of Hana's cars is already there." My blood froze. Hana didn't want to warn her. Hana didn't want to scare her. Hana wanted to erase her. Amara was alone, a foreigner in a country that suddenly felt hostile. A woman with no allies, no protection, and a powerful enemy she didn't even know existed. I slammed the accelerator. Soul light smeared into streaks as I sped through the rain-soaked roads. My heart felt like it was breaking with every turn. Please, Amara. Please hold on. This wasn't just love anymore. This was survival. This was war. I wasn't going to lose her. Not to lies. Not to power. Not to a woman who thought she could decide who I was allowed to love. If Hana touched her, if she even scared her, I would burn down every alliance my family ever built. I would expose every secret. I would turn Korea upside down if I had to. Because Amara isn't just my wife. She is the one thing in my life that ever felt real. The one person who made me want to be something more than my family's puppet. And I wasn't going to let her slip away. Not now, not ever. Tonight, I go to war.
The night I left the penthouse, Seoul felt different, colder, quieter, almost like the city knew something I didn't. I didn't take much, just my bag, my passport, and the little bit of cash I had left. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay somewhere I felt unwanted. Somewhere, my voice had been doubted. Somewhere my heart had cracked. I ended up in a tiny guest house on the outskirts of Seoul. A place where nobody would look twice at a foreigner crying into her pillow. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw Joon's face. That hesitation, that doubt, it replayed in my head like a punishment. I didn't hate him. I hated myself for still loving him. I told myself I just needed space, to breathe, to think, but the next morning, something strange happened. A note was slipped under my door. No envelope. No signature. Just 3 words. "They are coming." My heart froze. Were? Who? I opened the door, but the hallway was empty. For a moment I considered running. But where? I had nowhere to go. I tried to stay calm, but the fear in my stomach felt like a fist tightening. And then, the power in the building suddenly went out. The hallway lights, the lobby, even the street outside. Everything went dark. Too dark. I grabbed my phone, but just as the screen lit up, a notification appeared that made my blood run cold. Location tracked. My location. Shared. To an unknown number. I didn't send it. I didn't click anything. Someone hacked into my phone. My hands shook. This wasn't a rumor anymore. Someone wanted me found. I stuffed my phone into my bag and ran down the stairs. But when I reached the ground floor, 2 black cars parked in front of the guest house, tinted windows, no license plates, men stepping out wearing dark suits. My breath caught in my throat. They weren't police. They weren't reporters. They were looking for me. I slipped out the back door and bolted into the narrow alleys behind the building. Cold air stung my lungs. My heart pounded so loud it drowned out everything else. Then, suddenly, a hand grabbed my wrist. I gasped and tried to scream, but the man who pulled me behind a dumpster wasn't a stranger. It was the guest house owner. "Shh," he whispered urgently. "You need to listen." He wasn't Korean. He wasn't African. He was something worse. His accent was clean, crisp, and familiar from the news. British. "You're Amara Lee," he said. "A lot of people are looking for you." He pulled out an ID card. MI6 United Kingdom Intelligence Service. What? Why would someone from British intelligence care about me? Before I could even react, he spoke again. You were never supposed to marry Kang Joon. Not because you're foreign, he leaned closer, but because you weren't meant to survive being with him. My blood turned to ice. What are you talking about? I whispered. There's a bigger game happening behind the scenes, one you don't understand, one your husband doesn't understand. I stepped back, shaking my head. Why would MI6 care about a Korean heir? He gave a humorless smile. Because Kang Joon's father is tied to an international political network. A dangerous one. Your marriage threatened a deal that has been in motion for 20 years. Wanna have a trulla? I felt dizzy. But why target me? I'm nobody. He sighed. You're not nobody, Amara. Maybe to them, but not to the world they operate in. You're unpredictable. You weren't supposed to exist in the equation. That makes you dangerous. I swallowed hard. Tears stung my eyes. So they're trying to kill me? He didn't answer, which was an answer. But then another shock. He held out a phone. Someone wants to speak to you. The screen lit up. A woman, dark-skinned, Nigerian. Beautiful, older, with a headscarf and tired eyes. And she said something that made the ground fall away beneath me. Amara, my child, it's time you know the truth about who you really are. My heart stopped. My mother is dead. The woman shook her head slowly, heartbreakingly. No, Amara. I've been running for 27 years. Running to keep you alive. Running from the same people who are hunting you now. I grabbed the wall to steady myself. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. You were never meant to live in the open, she whispered. You are the daughter of the man who betrayed the Kang family 20 years ago. My breath caught in my throat. My father? She nodded. And your marriage to Joon, it triggered everything. It brought the past back to life. Before I could speak, before I could process anything, the guest house owner suddenly shoved me hard. Run, he snapped. They're here. Gunshots shattered the quiet alley. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't breathe. The only thought in my mind was one word. Joon? He had no idea what storm he was walking into, what danger my bloodline carried, or the war our marriage reignited. But I knew one thing. I had to survive long enough to warn him, because the real villain wasn't Hana, not entirely. The real enemy was someone far more powerful, someone who had been waiting 27 years for me to show up.